What is up, guys? Evan Aldo here. What's up, Johnny M? What's up, guys? Always appreciate you guys smashing the like button and whatever. Um, so here's the trade. It's kind of a big scalp. We'll see what happens. I'm hopeful. When you look at almost would have been, well, in this environment, no, but almost would have been better because ETH versus Bitcoin's jumping a little bit. Maybe ETH jumps up a little bit more, but no, that's not. It doesn't mean much. Maybe up to these. I'm not going to give you like stop loss or take profit. That's for the people in the Discord. But I mean, maybe up to some of these higher levels here. And unless you think we're going to really nuke down farther, which kind of unlikely if you look at fundamentals, what's going on right now with the positive tariffs. Most likely we could continue forward. Now you do have the trigger wave on to the downside. In the 4 hour, you could hedge this bet. You could try to hedge this bet. How would you try to hedge this bet? Maybe with something along these lines. If you wanted to, you'd kind of have to be betting that we're gonna. If you want to get a 2-to-1, you'd have to be betting that we're gonna nuke down to these lows again, which I don't think is too likely. So I don't know. I don't know if I'd want to, go short into resistance at the moment. I'd rather go on the long kind of game based on the daily. Based on what was that? How that six? Weekly. Money flow is not good, but your VWAP's coming up. And then a bull div kind of forming there in the 4-day. 3-day, your RSIs are good. The only thing bad here is the money flow. That's the only thing kind of bad in your 3-day. So, but in like a bull market year, post-halving year, in all likelihood, you should be able to have more of the bullish things persevere. And, if it's just a bit of a delayed version of what we generally see in your post-halving years, you in all likelihood would still see, a nice recovery. I feel like it may be a little bit too optimistic to say that you're going to go up to 120K in, how many months would that be? Let's see, April, May, in like 3 months, but back up to all-time highs by June. I think you got a good shot of that. It's not that far off. And then maybe a summer lull. And then, if you're looking at it like 21, kind of a sideways year, and then up somewhere between 120 to 150 by the end of the year, early next year. I think there's, a decent shot at that. But we'll have to see. We'll definitely have to see. What's up, David Brumbelow, who doesn't give financial advice? Appreciate you. What's up, James? What's up, Oz? Yeah. Oh, what's up, Jason? Shout out to Jason Casper in the stream. I'm long, yeah. Back in business, I am long. What's up, NJ? Appreciate you. How you doing, my man, Jason Casper? You want to come on, give us some insights? Give us some insights. Welcome on the stream anytime, man. I gotta shoot you a DM, get you like an official collab. We gotta get that going. But yeah, you're slong, okay. If you were to slong right now, you'd want to, I'm not gonna. Yeah, so you get the basic idea of the long right now. I guess that I keep that a little bit premium, the exact stop loss take profit, but it would be like I showed you, kind of a stop above like 81.7 or something, and then trying to go back to 74. But I don't know. I just don't really see that. I think more like I mentioned, like with the daily and stuff. Like I think the likelihood is higher that you can continue forward, but. Who knows? The market likes to play games. You could easily do something like this and then, get stopped out in both directions. Oh, man. Let's see. Well, that was Bitcoin. So if we look at, the big thing on Ethereum, I don't know if, I talked about it yesterday and the day before. Actually, who did I find? I think Ben Cowan was talking about, that's how I found out about this. It's not something most people look at too often, Ethereum dominance. They look at Bitcoin dominance, not Ethereum dominance, but that's kind of the lows of 2019. So if you were to kind of make a double bottom from that area, a very macro double bottom, it would happen around now. You have Trump putting a lot of pressure on the Fed to kind of cut rates and QT earlier than is anticipated. Trump's kind of trying to get Powell out. That's not going to happen. I think Powell's in until his term ends sometime in 26, and then Trump will probably replace him. I think Powell was good, ever since, generally pretty good ever since Biden was in. well, well, not ever since, ever since 2022, when they kind of got things out of control. I mean, if you were able to pull off a soft landing, which they kind of did, in 2022, that's impressive. Now, before that, that was just ridiculousness. They should have been much more hawkish, much more earlier, and printed a hell of a lot less money. But I mean, excuse me. So yeah. But yeah, shout out to Jay. If you guys don't, I'm sure you guys all know about Jason Casper. If you don't, check out his channel. He's really blown up. There's a lot of really good trading stuff. A lot of really great techniques there. So yeah. But if you were to keep coming up a little bit more, 15, that area. Damn, we were up to 16 there. So I mean, it would make sense to come up to that 17. I don't know why I'm looking at ApeCoin, but yeah, that's trying to fight back a little bit. I mean, this is delayed. You're better off just to look at the thing on OpenSea or wherever, or CoinGecko. But it's been doing well against its ETH pair. I'll give it that. MicroStrategy, I don't even care about that right now. But oh yeah, let's look at NASDAQ, which is an important one to keep our eyes on. So yeah, I guess the theory came up a lot now. I mean, in price generally, I feel like it's actually good we came down a little bit, because you're kind of hitting off your scene of the crime right there, and now you're trying to bounce, trigger wave in the hourly. Like, we should be able to break through this, I would think. Maybe a little bit slow, but we should be able to. Now, if you are to come all the way back down to these areas, which kind of don't think you will, but if we do come down and go lower in these areas, then you're talking about potentially, sorry, allergies, my nose, potentially an emergency kind of rate cut or things of that nature, or at least a cut in May. Now, the odds are not for a cut in May right now, which they kind of should be. Inflation came out much lower than expected. So, like, Powell's being overly hawkish, which I do kind of agree with the lion on that, but who knows if inflation will stay this low for how long. I mean, 2.4. Extending there, yeah. I would say that's bullish too. I think the China thing is where most of the fear. 10-year Treasury pulls back. It didn't pull back that much though, but definitely volatility as of late. Yeah, I mean, if you consider it's not really the 15-minute slight tiny bit of a. I mean, it pulled back from April 9th. Oh, okay, that's from yesterday. But still, that's not really that much of a. It's coming up a little bit. But yeah, okay. So that was that, and then Triple Q trying to fight back a little bit there. But I mean, that's your typical like kind of reset the market, 25% down. It's the place where you got a good shot of bouncing and continuing forward into the end of year, as typically is done in majority of years and majority of years in their 4-year cycle. If you believe in that, if you don't believe in that, I mean. So yeah, life feels like a video game. It kind of does. I know, I think the longer you live, sometimes it just, the things that happen, there's like, and in good ways, generally, or yeah, pretty much all good ways, I think, things happen that you couldn't even believe were possible a lot of times in good ways, There's one theory that the longer you live, the longer time goes by, just the crazier things get. I don't know if that's really true. Maybe to the individual's perspective as kind of you get older or whatever. But no, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of amazing things that have happened in my life. Definitely done more than a lot of people ever thought was possible. And I think kind of at the end of the day, you kind of get the things you want. You kind of get the things you strive for. Ask and you shall receive. It says in the Bible. You got to at least ask. You got to at least try for it. Let's see, making a lower high if we don't break, I'll take my next leg up. It depends on how you define next leg up. I mean, that could be a few months. So, yeah. ETH versus, I mean, there's potential here. I almost feel like you may get a slow bleed into like May or something into the official end of QT down to these lows, but you're getting there. Unless ETH is really going crap. I mean, you're going to shit. You're getting, you better get that soon. You know what I mean? So yeah, but yeah. Let's see here. I think people call it a left translated cycle. If you were to, well, we're pumping right now. If you were to come down, it would be a left translated cycle. If you were to, come down, yeah, if you were to not make another, high or whatever, or if, I guess it could be a double top, kind of like in 2021. But I think you will make a higher high as of right now. I think you will. I think you got a good shot of it. As of right now, that's what I'm seeing. Could be wrong. Who knows? But that's what I'm seeing. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously the main case for more bear the 3 week, but that could have played out just like it played out there. You know what I mean? That 3 week. I think that, well, the main thing I was looking at in the macro that we still haven't. So if you look at the 2 week here for cycle tops, that was a cycle top here, like a real high, wave. Same thing here, real high wave. Okay, that was the first one, but still, I mean, that was a major top. And then real high wave. I mean, you had somewhat of a high wave there. Like, I think like you need to get a higher wave than this wave. So what would this like show us? Something like, it probably would be somewhere in the end of the year, like that or something. Then you finally get the higher wave. I don't know. I could see that. I mean, what would that look like if you were to go up to 120, 150? I mean, yeah, I mean, it would, this general, I mean, that's 200, never mind. But, no, that's way too much. But yeah, there. So, definitely doable. And that was very elongated. You would have to start to recover generally pretty quickly if we're going to get that, I think. But yeah. Let's see. Actually, yeah, I mean, Trump was talking. I didn't really watch this one. He was talking yesterday. I think he's always talking. I mean, the thing too is it's just based on technicals. Like, trading just based on, I know I was talking about fundamentals and, how they would tell us things would keep going. I mean, you could use that a tiny bit, but, mainly the way that most profitable people are doing it is not based on what's happening. So yeah. I guess ETH, you could even argue somewhat of a, what's the reverse head and shoulder thing forming? 1800. I mean, if you can get back to frickin' 1800 here, I mean, it still would be still below frickin', this thing's only gone down for such a long time now, but wow, I mean, since December, but yeah. It's almost like, yeah. We got to get back up to that 2. Yeah, that's what we got to do. We got to do this in reverse. I don't know. We do that in reverse. Get up to that area in May, 2,500. That's what we got to do. Get more money going into that. But yeah, so far, a bit more of a jump here. Man. Let's see. Dixie's been, there's some view on this, like the Dixie going down under 100 or something is like, or down to 100 signals bull run for Bitcoin. I think it's possible. I could see this jumping while Bitcoin kind of continues. Maybe I'm being too optimistic though. Bitcoin to 224. Wow, that'd be pretty crazy. Who knows? I think it's very unlikely you'd get above 200. By the end of the decade. Well, no, by Well, that's the thing. That's two. Let's look at it like a macro. I just wanted to do a little bit of like hardcore macro analysis for a minute here. This would be assuming, yeah, about 150. Let's say we get like a 70%. You know, it's usually, well, yeah, let's say we get like, I don't know, 65. Let's say we get a 70% correction. That would bring us back down to like 48. Let's say we go back to that 48K. I think that was the, yeah, like right there. 40, yeah, 50, 48K, 46K, something like that. So let's say we get that. And then that would be probably end of 26, I would argue. Right around there. That would make a lot of sense. And then from there, you'd be looking at, from that high, let's just do a little bit of, oops, put that back. And then, so we put that back, and then what are our next places for, if you believe in 4-year cycle, 2029, you know, that could be your 300 sometime in 2029. 400, well, double from, well, let's see. Yeah, previous all-time high, if you're following, previous all-time high was about 70K last cycle. If you double that, you're at 140. It would probably be a diminished return there, so you'd probably get, I would say maybe your 200, that 220 could be like your next cycle peak, you know, almost a double from this cycle, but this is just guessing, I don't know, but something like that definitely could be, you know, assuming diminished returns, assuming a lot of things like that. And that's just, this is pure just 4-year cycle, but, and then from there, you know, that's, I think, where your cycle breaks and you go into your next recession or whatever, and then you have like a really freaking sideways like decade, and then you know, that's just my 2 cents if history kind of repeats, but we'll see. So if you were to do this, 150 back to 48, then continuing forward, that would make the most sense in terms of like a lot of this, you know, pattern, what we're seeing, you know, kind of, you'd probably break, like probably I would guess a lot of people would be looking at this and like sometime in 26 they would say like 83K is the bottom or something, and then you come down almost 50% from there down to like somewhere in the high 40s, you know. That's where I would think. And then you just keep going. One perspective. And it would get even more complicated to try to do that for ETH, but let's just focus on getting back up to like 2,500 for ETH right now. So yeah, I mean, you went just about, yeah, generally around 2018 all-time highs, yeah. I think here is like ETH versus Bitcoin. I mean, it can't, I mean, if you go any more down than like 10% more, which you can, but I mean, that's where it gets a little scary. Because if you're not really, you know, you're not outperforming Bitcoin, you know, on enough of a consistent basis, you know, after that. Let's look at like a couple of these, like crypto.com. Got a higher low. You should be able to break through, get back up to like 11 cents. I mean, taking its time, but that's what it does. I mean, that's what it does. Like the view now is like if you keep jumping into, I mean, let's say you jump into the end of QT. All right, yeah, end of QT. Let's say that's in May or whatever. You know, let's say you get up to somewhere between, yeah, I don't know, maybe even 120. I mean, things do like to jump into the wherever they may end QT. I don't know exactly when the FOMC meeting is, but let's say you come back up to 110. From there, then you probably get, I don't know, I mean, 20% correction or something. Maybe nothing that bad, but, you know, and then June, July, you know, maybe a summer lull again, some boringness. You bounce off of here in July or something. I don't know. Hard to say, but, you know, then you get some more rate cuts or whatever, and then into September, you get up to your 120. And then everybody thinks it's over, and then you get one more kind of leg up into the end of the year. this. That's December or whatever. I gotta move this. Yeah, oh, I can't even, that's weird. My thing is like, oh, okay, I gotta go like that, okay. This side, yeah, something like that. I don't know. It could be more, like, you could be more, even more, like, volatile. I mean, it could be like this, you know. It could be like that. Hard to exactly say, obviously. Or you could just make it up to 120, and that's kind of the game. What to look at. So let's just see what's happening here. So Dow is down 1,000 points. Now trying to come back up. Yeah, just a lot of volatility. European Union, so they're coming to agreements. This is all negotiation, which is good and what you'd expect. And I think here, that's where India, they know how to negotiate. They love to negotiate. Less reliant on experts than others, yeah. There we go, yeah. Positive stuff there. I mean, say what you want about the lion. I mean, it's, other than the grifter crap and the coin stuff is so scammy, but other than that, nothing too bad as of yet. Oh, by the way, guys, pinned the pinned chat, trade with BloFin, you can get 10% off. Oops, for life with your for life if you sign up, and then there's a spin the wheel to win a MacBook Pro. I don't know what your odds are, but it could be a good idea. But 10% cash back for life. Same thing with the 10% cash back for life off your fees with BYDFI, and then 15% cash back on your first bonus as well. Check those out, and then I'm going to be at the Bitcoin conference, 10% off your ticket if you would like to come. So yeah. Just trying to think here, Jim. Speaking of the lion, what's his coin doing? Yeah, still nothing. Yeah. How about Doge? Hasn't been talked about in a couple minutes. Oh, he lost that area a little bit, but now you could bounce from here maybe. Lost a little bit of momentum, I'll tell you that much. I mean, was it down from it almost made a new all-time high, and then 71%. Maybe if you jump here, then you could be on your way to all-time high again. I don't know, though. I want to look at Matic. That's one that's just been absolutely decimated. My God. 18 cents. Ooh. It's down to 15 cents. I think that's could have been one of the, well, no, I think I did buy it before, 15 cents or whatever, but it's not even on the, yeah, because I'm just looking at the longer chart we can look at, but yeah, 30 was, yeah, to that point. So a completely decimated, probably one of the worst performing like legacy alts, I'll say that much. Is if you even see like when they rebranded, 80% down. I mean, it should turn around, hopefully. It's just been, yeah, it's down more than it should be, I'll say that much. There's definitely a cause for concern. The people that like Matic, I mean, you're not dumb. I mean, there's a lot behind the project. It's kind of surprising it's done so poorly. even on the Bitcoin pair there. So yeah, it happens though. Curious about Filecoin. Yeah, that's just been decimated. Damn. Yeah, no wonder no one's been talking about Filecoin. Ouch. Yeah, just like so down right there. New lows. So yeah. That point, 6-day. Daily's pretty good here. Solana, I think, can continue, definitely. Solana could be a good... I don't see why Solana couldn't be a good long right now. Like that, maybe, something like that, definitely. Similar to the Bitcoin thing, probably. But yeah, I think you should be able to continue to recover for a lot of this market. Anything you guys like on the charts right now? What's everybody thinking? I'm gonna get a drink of water. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay. So, just thinking a little bit more here. Well, I could look at some liquidation points. That's always significant. Let's actually look at Fox Business real quick. Wine glasses. Seems like Trump's gonna win all this shit. That's what it looks like right now. Well, anything could happen. It seems like it's gonna go well. That's it. Things are looking good, I would say. China don't look the best at the moment, in my opinion. I could be wrong though, but 63 got some liquidations. You also got some at 89. ETH is the one that was more interesting because that really shows you like the thinning of the, because like everyone gave up on ETH, you know what I mean? Like it's just okay. I mean, you got some ones right at that low, which I mean that's obvious. People are always gonna tread along the low there. When you zoom out, yeah, there's not much, you know. I mean, a little bit down there. I mean, it's mainly just the close, yeah. I mean, if they could bring us down a little bit, then those longs are going to get sniped, but that's about it. But I mean, there's always going to be people trying to, you know. Oh, that's new. Blow down on a 6 hour. Bull sign there. Kind of bullish, then you fall off there. Bull there. Bull. I don't know. I don't think it means too much. So yeah. And by the way, guys, if you're interested in trading, check out BloFin. It is the pinned comment in the chat, the pinned chat. 10% off your fees for life. As always, guys, if you sign up to BloFin or BYDFI, deposit at least $100. Open a sport ticket and hold on to our VIP Discord. We'll give you 1 free month in there where you could get some really good trade setups, including this one. So yeah, Hmm. A point right there, ETH Bitcoin. Who would have known? 0.019. Who would have known? And still could go down lower. I don't think it will though, but well, it's hard to say. I don't think it'll go down that much lower. Hmm. M2 money supply, people have been talking about how that's been going up. I don't know what the, okay, yeah. It's in the trillions. Almost there. I mean, probably next month you surpass it, so that would tell you, yeah, probably an NDQT next month, but we shall see. Let's look at Poly Market. Fed decision in May. It's still like, because the markets were caught, yeah, no change. There probably won't be a change as much as Trump doesn't like it. So yeah. Thinking here. Google, OpenAI. As best that nobody knows that's been moving around. U.S.-China trade deal before June. Yeah, Trump can't remove Powell. It'll be, I don't think he can. It'll be next year. What price will Ethereum hit in April? That's a good question. So the plurality is at 1200. Jeez, y'all are bearish. But 14, yeah, so I mean 2000 we're hoping. What price will Bitcoin hit in April? 70K, so people are still bearish. 90K, 20, yeah, so kind of half and half between those two. And yeah, so yeah. Before June, we're going to come to some agreement with the China tariffs, everybody thinks. GTA being released this year, isn't that like pretty much a done deal? It could get delayed. I'm just trying to think here. Yeah, so I keep making noise dropping that. Let's take a look at Tesla actually, because that's obviously been down, but so yeah, the volatility is pretty wild. Made a lower low, now you're back to kind of where you were over there. So yeah, about a month ago, right there. I mean, that was it. Did have a. So it's down 40. So yeah, currently down about 50. Still think it's a pretty good buy, and you're seeing the trigger waves form. I think it's generally a pretty good buy. So yeah, some Caliphant. So yeah. I always appreciate you guys smashing the like button and all that. Well, market is done now. We've been on about 40 minutes. I'm not sure what else to really talk to you guys about right now. It's just not. Kind of went over what we could at the moment. Doing clean coal. Clean coal. uh, Tomorrow's the big day. Yield curve. I forget the significance of this. Does that mean we're going into recession, the yield curve, I think, right? It's between the two yields. Was it the 10-year and the third? Was it 10-year and 15 or something? I forget the exact. Let's see. Let me look at yield future. There's other ones. As far as there's, yeah. This one people like to look at, the CBOT, or this 10-year. 10, yeah. That's new, actually. Okay. I mean, it's been making lower lows, kind of, but yeah, now it's back up a little bit. Yeah, it's got, oh wow, it's so, that's surprisingly higher than you would think. I don't know why it's, yeah. XCN, I don't know much about that coin. I think I've heard of it. Yeah, I've definitely looked at it. It's hard to say, man. I think it could recover, definitely. I mean, it's going to hit off a year. It's a weird one. It's hard to know. You know, it's hard to know with some of these, but it could have come back up to this high, sure. It's higher than recession if it gets higher than 50. So it didn't. What's the ticker for that, Marco? How do I look at that? I forget. Is it the 10 and the 15? Is it US 10 versus US 10 versus US US 15 here? Is it this? No, I forget what the hell yet. Forget it. Oh, it's a 10-year and a 2-year. Oh, I don't think there's a 15. I was looking at something that didn't even. No, there's no. Yield. Oh, it's the. Oh, okay. It's this. What is the 2-year? It's trying to come down too. Oh, that's interesting because, oh, wait, it was. Okay. Not too far off of there. Is it the 2-year versus the. Is it this? I don't even. So obviously the 2 years been outperforming the. So as rates go down, this would probably continue to bleed against the 10-year. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's interesting. It went way down, and yeah, well, oh yeah, really. Okay. Does this show? I'm probably looking at it the opposite way I should be, but yeah, it shows recessions. Yep. So if it goes down, how many percentage? Let's see. It goes down 30 maybe or 50. I don't know. Yeah, I think once it goes down 50, you're kind of in a recession. It went down 30 so far. Yeah, according to this, it could, but who knows? It's hitting off some support. I think regardless, as rates go lower, this will probably bleed against it. We look at the opposite way. I mean, Oh, I know what we need to look at. Others versus BTC. I'm hopeful on this. I really am. I'm hopeful on this. I think especially once we get that 2-week bull div, this could continue to recover and be good for alts, and it kind of follows the Fourier cycle. Same with others. I'm hopeful. Yeah, I think we could keep coming. What is it's probably still a lot of fear, right? I would think. I think there's probably still a ton of fear. Yeah. Well, not as bad, but I would think this would continue to recover with everything else. And if you're looking at the trajectory of fear and greed, that was from September. Your peak was in. It was about a 6-month bull area, about a 6-month bull area. So 6 months from now, it's April is the 4th month, so that brings us out until October. Yeah, right to that area cast, but yeah, it did so well, and it got suppressed. I don't know. It just doesn't have the notoriety it used to have or the popularity. I think it could jump from here though, but we'll see. Curious about Dot, which has gotten completely obliterated, made a lower low. Pretty dead, but maybe it'll come back from the depths of hell. We definitely got to see what happens with some of these, but yeah. And 345 right now, so still below. It's like, yeah, this is so dead. I don't think this. We'll see what happens, but I mean, looking at this in the macro, it doesn't look like it has the best future, unfortunately. It looks good in the 3-week though. I mean, it definitely could turn around in the next like 6 to 8 months. I would say, yeah, 6 to 8 months. Let's see, gold. Yeah, that's been coming up a little bit out of recession. That's all recession fears. It would be, I guess, not even inflation. Yeah, this is just all recession fears, which for the longest time, have been saying gold was going to go up. Where can gold end up in the next, I mean, it would probably generally, it's interesting if it follows this pattern. Does it 400? Could it get up to in about a year, 4,000? Yeah, maybe. I think it'll generally do pretty well. Gold versus NASDAQ would be the important one to look at. And it's been doing somewhat well against, first time in a long time. I mean, it could, I guess, continue to outperform the NASDAQ. Let's see here. That money flow coming up. Yeah, I mean, I guess in the long, it generally bleeds against the NASDAQ, but, you had a nice damn 10-year period here. I mean, I performed it pretty well. So it's tough to kind of say. I mean, it looks good in the macro, but, what would you bet on more for the long-term play than NASDAQ? But gold, it's hard to say. Just curious about, so yeah, that was, in 2000, And this is more of a, gradual, I don't know. Gold is good to have a little bit of, it depends. I view it kind of like real estate to a certain extent. I mean, definitely a good inflation hedge, generally. I almost feel like Miami real estate looks like it wants to jump up farther. We'll see though. But you would think real estate would the real estate ETFs, I mean, you would think that the market would fall, but not really. No, these held up somewhat well, actually. from, well, they peaked out in 22, but yeah, these held up somewhat well. Still generally going down though. The thing about the tariffs, there's one view that they make foreign currencies go up against the dollar. I don't know if that's exactly true. The Dixie's gone down. Euro is still low, and it's enough to make Europe just like the European view on Americans right now. It's just too many tourists, too much annoyances and all that. And yeah, you could see the trade down below over on BidFi, one Bitcoin, so about an 80K position, almost or close to it. Up a good amount, so I think we'll keep going, hopefully, and get to first take profit. If you want more info on that trade, link is in the description below for the Discord, and you get with the pinned chat on BloFin 10% off your fees for life, only with my link. So yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I mean, I might I may end it in a little bit. There's just not much more to really talk about. ApeCoin kind of went to depths of hell here, but trying to jump back up to like 47 or something, maybe. I mean, I feel like some of there's a free Discord, and then some of the channels are paid, so you just get a free one. So yeah. The free one, some of the channels are paid, like they're censored, they're off limits unless you pay. So yeah. Yeah, nobody wants to. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with Trump and everything. I mean, it's hard to exactly pinpoint. I mean, the Dixie's kind of due to go down to break downwards, so yeah. I'm curious about if you look at like U.S. debt clock, because this website's been around for a hell of a long time. I remember looking at this in like, I don't know, 2009, 2010. Yeah, this was been around for a long time. It's still from probably the graphics that they were using during the Windows XP days, but how much money Doge is savings per taxpayer, I don't know. Which is pretty crazy to think. If that's true, some people say it's nonsense. I don't know the exact thing there, but even with all that, you still have a debt that's probably going up higher than the gross domestic product. To bring this down to frickin', below there, bring that up or get U.S. debt under U.S. gross domestic product is tough. Let's see, budget showdown 2029. What is this? Too complicated. But what would I'm just curious what their simulation shows for, which is probably going back to 33. That's even worse. Yeah. Maybe it gets better, maybe it doesn't. But yeah. I think over time, as our debt just gets worse and worse, kind of like how a lot of other countries have a lot of debt, our currency goes down, and then, helps Bitcoin and then gold and other inflation hedges. So, yeah. Anyway, I think I'm probably gonna wrap it up, guys. If you guys are interested in the Discord, and really good, like I mentioned, really good opportunity with BloFin, 10% off your fees for life. Only my link. Check out the pin chat. So yeah, check it out, guys. Really appreciate you guys. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. What am I buying? I mean, I have enough of what I really want. I picked up a little bit of ETH. We'll see if that ends up being a good idea. And it's a couple other altcoins, But yeah. So I'll see you guys.